Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day for all you fine people for your Friday, July the 5th. And we're starting to see some entry-level contracts getting signed. At the top of the board, we've got Seattle signing Berkeley Catton. He gets his 3-year ELC. They've also extended Ellie Tolvanen. Tolvanen gets a 2-year deal with Seattle, $3.45 million per season cap hit. A bit of a down year for Tolvanen last year compared with what he did after they got him on waivers the year before. Tolvanen's young enough to bounce back. So I like that move by Seattle. Kyle Davidson talking about Levshinov. And of course, he was the number 2 draft pick for Chicago in the draft last week. Saying that no decision has been made on whether it would be better for Levshinov's development to have him sign a pro contract, come into camp with the Chicago Blackhawks, or if it's a better option for him to go to the NCAA and get another year there. One of the things that all those free agent signings for Chicago does is it gives the young kids a chance to develop and not have to be in that NHL spotlight right out of the gate. So we'll see what they do with Levshinov. I think returning him to the NCAA, he's a defenseman. I think that works for a year, but we'll see what they do, right? If there's a defenseman out of this draft that might be ready to play right away, it could be Levshinov. So we'll see. Former Chicago Blackhawk Jackson Staba signs a 1-year, 2-way deal with Utah, so they have some good depth now in net. It was just a crowded net in Chicago, so they did not re-sign him. And so, yeah, Stauber goes there. Now, if you're an excited Utah fan, you have a chance to watch the development camp scrimmage today. It is free entry to get in and watch it. I think it's going on now, or it's close. I think they're doing warm-ups. But yeah, so it is a chance for fans to see the young kids and see what they have in their future. But yeah, it's a fun way to go about it. Some teams have just finished their development camp. Some are in the middle, and some are just starting it. But this is the first step during the summer towards figuring out who's going to make it next year. And in the case of development camp, it tells the coaches and trainers like who's where on the development, with their development and most likely to be able to come in and play and what they need to work on as well. Ottawa signs Yannick, who of course they acquired from Utah on a minor league swap there to a 1-year, 2-way deal. Yannick's young enough, he may develop into a decent bottom 6 forward in the NHL. There's also the possibility he just remains as an AHL farmhand, but either way, he gets a chance with Ottawa this season. David Perron was asked about the awkwardness there could be of him and Zub being in the same locker room, being on the same team. And I've always said this gets overblown a little bit. We'll see like 2 players have a big fight or a big controversial incident, and then later their teammates and fans will throw out there, how are they going to coexist? And sometimes the media throws that out there too. Perron saying that he may have to buy Zub dinner before training camp. And that he'll talk to him. Remember, it was Zub that Perron cross-checks and gets suspended for 6 games this past season. So now they're teammates, and they'll likely sit down, hash it out, and it'll be fine. I have not seen an incident that doesn't get put behind him when 2 former opponents become teammates. You could trade Marchand to any team in the league, and it's the hatchet's going to get buried. Same with Tom Wilson. Whatever name you want to throw out there. Cousins in Florida. Or Bennett in Florida. So any of them got traded to other teams. The hatchet gets buried pretty quick, and you'd hear players saying, we're glad he's on our side rather than against us now. Interesting Eiserman quote, and here's what gets me. So I think that there's those in the media that want Eiserman to commit. Yes, Detroit will make the playoffs in 2025. He's not taking the bait. So instead, the headline is Eiserman won't commit to playoffs in 2025. I get it, though. Like, Eiserman, if you've been around hockey for as long as Steve Eiserman, you know that you don't want to give them fodder, basically, right? So let's say Eiserman comes out and says, oh, yeah, no, we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to be a really good team this year. And then it doesn't work out. For whatever reason, it could be injury. It could just be a bad run for them in, say, October or November. But then people will bring back that quote and go, you said you were going to make the playoffs. Why aren't you in the playoffs? Eiserman's admitting that this is the first year he's felt like there is pressure on him to get the team into the playoffs. He's also said that, if they take all the right steps and everything falls in their direction, yes, they could make the playoffs, but it's not going to be easy. Keep in mind, last summer, the exact same thing was said about the Vancouver Canucks. Everything has to fall their way. They're going to need some lucky breaks, and they did have some lucky breaks, and things did fall their way early in the season, and then they won the division. So I understand Eiserman not wanting to commit. I also understand his talk about, if everything falls the right way, and it can. It has for other teams before. One thing I do credit Eiserman with is he's not changing his vision. He's not changing his plan. Just basically saying that he is maintaining that for the long-term future, which, if you're a Wings fan, you should be happy about. The Calgary Flames signing Parake and Gradine to their entry-level contracts. Morin signs his as well. Looks like this was done at the development camp, like on the ice, which I think Shane Wright started that for Seattle, and it feels like other teams now are doing that as well, which is fun. I mean, it'd have to be fun to go out to a training situation, with the kids, and then you see a GM or whoever come out on the ice with their contract and actually watch them physically sign it. So it's good. You can get some pictures of that, and it makes for a good image. But yeah, Parake could very well be that future power play point man. I just wish he didn't look so miserable in the headshot they have of him that they keep using. He looks, go look at it. Parake looks absolutely miserable. Like he looks like his dog just ran out and he's not sure where his dog is and he's too concerned. Anyways, so yeah, he doesn't look happy, but there are players who don't necessarily look happy in their mug shots. So at any rate, the Flames getting their youngsters signed, I will be talking about the Flames soon because clearly they're embracing the rebuild of sorts. I don't think they're going to be as bad as some people think they could be, but I understand that now the Markstrom and Mangiapane have been added to that long list of players that have exited. This is going to be a challenging year if you're a Flames fan. I did want to throw in there that this is, the time of year where we get development camp hype. I've seen lots of highlights of these players going out there and pulling off incredible moves, keeping in mind that in some cases these games are 3-on-3, and they're not playing against NHL veterans either. They're playing against fellow prospects. So you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But it is kind of fun still to see where these kids are at and see some of these excellent moves that they're able to do out there. And it's given us all a chance to see what the new practice jerseys from Fanatics look like. Spoiler alert, they look a heck of a lot like the Adidas ones. There really hasn't been a change. But at any rate, development camps are always fun. The Florida Panthers have signed Jacob Magna to a 1-year, 2-way deal. A veteran player can jump into your lineup here and there. He also can clear waivers if you're going to send him down to the minors. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good move for them. Again, Magna, good. He can fill in here and there. Parasic, which looking at the board now, yep, I misspelled it, but Parasic it is. He signs an entry-level contract with the Washington Capitals. He was a first-round draft pick. Keep in mind that with the entry-level contracts, I report on the first-rounders and throw them on the board because, again, as I mentioned in a news video yesterday, it can end up being a lot when teams are signing second, third, fourth, fifth. It's a lot of players that get drafted every year, and so it's a lot of signings that can happen. So I try to restrict it to the first rounders, and in this case, I misspelled Parasic. But at least I'm saying it right now. So there's a benefit. There are times where it takes me a little while to learn some of the youngsters' names, but that's okay. We have a lot of time. We have a whole slew of hockey seasons coming up for me to learn them all, and then other youngsters come in, and I try to work on those names as well. So anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't. If you're being affected by the heat wave that seems to be taking over almost everywhere, stay hydrated, stay safe, and make sure that you're wearing your sunscreen. But at any rate, enjoy yourself, and I hope you're having a good time. Good start to the summer. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event that you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.